complete the task and they win the Super Bowl by defeating the Patriots by a score of 29-13. And that score doesn't indicate how how that game really went. I mean, they made Drake made miserable. They sacked him like maybe 5 or 6 times. He threw a pick. I mean, they just made him miserable. That game went exactly how I thought it would go. I thought they would win by at least 2 touchdowns. I was close. I was close. But at the end of the day, this moment is really for Sam Darnold because this is a guy that nobody wanted. He was passed around like, basically like a cheap whore on the stroll, passed around and stuff, but, he found a home in Seattle. They believed in him. And the question was, could he lead a team to the Super Bowl, after going 14-3 with the Vikings, and the Vikings just didn't want to pay him. They let him go sign with Seattle, and now the Vikings, had they kept Darnold, who knows? They might be hosting, they might be hoisting up the Vince Lombardi Trophy. They haven't announced who's going to be the Super Bowl MVP. It might be Cooper Flag. It might be the back. It might be him. It could be Darnold. He threw for 202 yards, 1 touchdown. So, you could say it could be the defense. The defense as a whole was really the key factor in this game. I know a lot of times they use that cliche defense win championships. Well, the defense did help them to get the job done. But like I said before, Seattle rights the wrong from that Super Bowl that Pete Carroll, then the offensive coordinator, screwed them out of when they conspired against Marshawn Lynch not to give him the ball to punch it in, which would have gave them their back-to-back Super Bowl. And, basically, they would have been in the history books, but they conspired against him, trying to get Russell Wilson the Super Bowl MVP. He throws a horrible, a horrible interception, and that basically is the story of the game. And that even though Russell Wilson has won a Super Bowl, the Super Bowl, that's funny, the Super Bowl he lost has hunted him for years. Now, Darnold, you got to give the dude his credit. Got to give him his credit. Nobody wanted him. Nobody believed in him. And now he's a Super Bowl champion. Now, as far as the defense goes, that's the greatest defense I've ever saw in my life. No, absolutely not. What was it? Was it the 2001 Ravens? It might have been the 2001 Ravens or the 85 Bears. I think the greatest defense I ever saw in my day and age was probably the 85 Bears. And that defense was unheard of. That defense was something else. And that was fucked up what Mike Ditka did to Walter Payton. And for him to sit up there and play stupid and say, I didn't know it meant so much to him wanting to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. I mean, he let everybody else score a touchdown except the late, great Walter Payton. But yeah, the Seahawks did their thing, man. You know, now can they repeat? Well, we'll just have to see. I think teams are going to look at what the Seahawks did, and then they're going to focus on defense with a little bit more of offense. I think the Rams are close. I think the Rams, depending on what type of you know moves they make in the offseason, I think the Rams could be right back there. And I think Matthew Stafford, he announced that he's coming back, and I think he's more motivated to get back to the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford has a chance to do something special next year, to be the only quarterback to host and win the Super Bowl if he can get back to the Super Bowl in his home stadium. Keep in mind, the Rams won that Super Bowl in their home stadium. But like I said before, it was funny. I had walked out at halftime because I had to make some moves, but I got home in time for the fourth quarter because this game was becoming a snoozer, but it did get a little bit interesting, you know, when they actually started to score touchdowns and stuff. So, like I said before, I'm glad this game didn't total didn't turn out to be a total snoozer. But once again, man, shout out to the Seahawks, man. I'm pretty sure Sir Mix-a-Lot is pretty happy. I'm pretty sure Sir Mix-a-Lot is happy. Keep in mind, Sir Mix-a-Lot is from Seattle. But yeah, Great story for Sam Darnold. I'm talking about it's passed around. I mean, nobody believed in this dude. So, like I said before, you know, he probably can. I know he's not gonna gloat, but he's probably saying, "My yeah, yeah. Now what? Now what? I'm a Super Bowl champ." Anyway, appreciate you guys being here. It's your boy Town Biz. I'm out.